Welcome back to a little update video today. We talk about AMC, GME, BYND, FFAI, and 2 wheat stocks. If you're interested, just stay tuned. As always, I am using the Fractal method. The explanation video for this, I will link at the end of the video. Okay, well then let's jump into let's zoom in. So before we start with the tracking for AMC, I see that in the YouTube analytics. I know that many of you are most of the time only interested in AMC, GME and BYND, which is absolutely okay. I'm just saying that today at the end of the video, I also presenting 2 wheat stocks, which are looking really fucking good and close to the breakout, if not already in the breakout. Just saying if you're interested. Also, for the big update video, so with everything explained, with 1-part squeeze or 2-part squeeze or whatever, I will link the big update video at the end of the video. And for my brackets, for the pink ones with the explanation and why, we talked about it 2 videos ago. I think it was maybe Sunday or Monday, if you're interested in this. Today, we just look what we have done this week. So let's zoom in. So, and before we start with this, because especially I think it was this or last week, I get many times always the same question. Yeah. I mean, I don't care if I get 1,000 times the same question. I will always answer it with the best knowledge I have. The only thing, if I getting always the same question, I'm getting the feeling that I wasn't showing it right or not enough, or maybe my English was too bad. What I'm talking about is I got a lot of questions about, is the pullback of AMC finished? Yeah? So I really try today to make that as clear as possible. Yeah? So we only have 2 versions left. This one would be the main version. The second version would be, we just go from here, breaking the 200 EMA and gap. Yeah? This version with we just going from here, I can't track. Yeah, I can't say it is impossible that it's happening, but this would completely going against my thoughts. Yeah, if it's happening, if you break the 200 EMA, there is no discussion. We will just do it. Yeah? For the main tracking, is the pullback of AMC finished? No, it can't be. Yeah? Before I show the examples for it, yeah, just for the main tracking, down here is our V, our all-time low, which in my opinion should be in now. We went up to our A without a higher low. I will come to that in a second. For the main tracking, we still need a pullback. And there are 2 ways. We're doing the 0.5 pullback or the 618 pullback. That means fib pullback from our low to our peak. The 0.5 is at $1.34. No, $1.34. Yeah? The 618 is at $1.23. Yeah? As long as we are not down there, the pullback for the main tracking can't be finished. Yeah, really, it can't be. You don't have, to say that also, you don't have to touch the 0.5 or 0.618 at the millimeter point perfect. You don't have to do that. You can bounce a little bit over it, a little bit under it, but it should be near it. 170, 160, 150 is too high. Yeah. Also, one little warning: if you touch or break the 786, that means $1.09, something is terrible wrong. Yeah, I don't have that in the tracking. Terrible wrong. And I don't think it will happen, but just as a warning. Also, again, no financial advice. I already said weeks that I bought here on April 8th, 50% of my position, because you are still watching me. I can be wrong, as every other predictor. Yeah, it can still be wrong. That's why I already said I bought 50% here. I still didn't buy the last 50% because I'm convinced of my tracking. Yeah? I will wait for this here. But if something stupid is happening, I have at least 50%. For the pullback, also something to say. You see here we have 3 perfect touch points. I just don't see a bullish reversal yet. Yeah. So for me, easily we could do Thursday, Friday, maybe something like this. Reject here again and go down. For the next question, time. We should be already finished with the pullback. I could imagine that's because a lot of other predictors I saw say it's 100% next week. So we should be finished with this pullback right now. My target is still mid to end May, maybe early May, yeah, but still May. So this pullback, you can stretch that over weeks. Yeah, that's no problem. Yeah, I mean, if we do this till Thursday, Friday, no financial advice, I buy my last position, my 50%. Yeah. Then I could say, well, there's a possibility for next week. If we are here till Friday, could be wrong. But for me, then next week is dead. Just saying. So now for why I'm looking like that, the examples. So 1 hour chart on the left side from the last weeks, 1 hour chart from AMC on the right side from January 5th to January 15. Yeah. You saw here we have the same V. We did back then a higher low, which we clearly didn't do here. But we went up to our A. Also here, from the low to the peak, it was a perfect 0.5 pullback, which I'm still looking for. After that, we did a perfect higher low, which we could then do here too. And then we go. Yeah? Second example. Left side, 1 hour again. Right side, also 1 hour from April 2024 to May 2024. Back here, we didn't do a higher low. We just went up to A, which is quite similar to here. Then we did a 0.618 pullback from the low to the peak, which we could easily do here too. Also here, after that, we did a higher low, and then we went into the squeeze. Yeah. So AMC never, since IPO, did a squeeze without at least a 0.5 pullback. Could be wrong. Yeah. But for me, that's my tracking. Yeah. I hope this was absolutely clear. Yeah. I mean, I really don't know how to. Okay, one last thing. If someone is only looking at percentages, could be okay. So if someone is saying, okay, we went down 8% today, is the pullback finished? No. From here to at least a 0.5, it's 22%. Yeah, that's for me something we have at least to achieve before I can sit here and say, yeah, I think there's a 100% chance that the pullback is finished. Yeah. Yeah. And again, yeah, no financial advice. I could be wrong, and it's fucking dangerous not to have a position. Yeah. I don't want to be the guy who tells you 100% we go up because it's stupid. 100% we have to need this pullback. Yeah. Because if I'm wrong, you may be missing the run if you're doing something stupid. Okay. I think that was everything for AMC. Next one, GME. Also for GME, big story with everything in it. I will link the big update video at the end. And same for AMC with price targets and how and when and blah, blah, blah. We talked also two videos before that. Okay, then let's zoom in for what we have done. I mean, I already said, I think, I don't know, 3, 4, 5 videos. That's the bearish alternative to 17 or lower is off the table in the moment we are breaking $25, which we did on April 16. Yeah. And I also said that it's fucking bullish if we break $26. And look what we have done in after hours today. Yeah. Of course, it was Michael Burry. But who cares? The main tracking for GME since weeks now was that November was our V, perfect high low, went up to small a. We did here a perfect 618 pullback at earnings. And since then, we're just doing nothing. I mean, we're going up, yes, but it was not quick. Main tracking for GME is still, we have to do the main A. Yeah, that means over our main T. That means over $28. Yeah. My price target was always, since I'm showing GME, if we're doing this, 28 to 35, 37-ish, no financial advice. And then, sorry, one last pullback. And at this point here, AMC and GME are synchronizing again and going to squeeze. Just because if I get the question, how can I track AMC going down but GME going up? Because they're only running together in the squeeze. Otherwise, the charts would be the same, which they clearly aren't. So GME can go up, AMC can go down, or the other way around. Yeah. Also here, little warning. There is a hopium version where we just don't do this pullback. Fine. Then we just go. Yeah. Not in my tracking. I can't say it's impossible. Yeah, because we are in fucking crazy times. Just look at SPY and NASDAQ. It's fucking stupid. But this looks also perfect. Okay. Yeah. Next one, BYND. Also here for the big update for everything. Also in the big update video at the end. Main target for BYND is still our main A, which should still be over 15. And my target is still latest, no financial advice, July and August. I would even say it should be May, June, but latest July, August. So for the micro tracking, I'm still the opinion our two bearish versions are dead. Yeah, the one we still have to do a new lower low here, 55 or whatever, off the table. Breaking all-time low, in my opinion, off the table. Our all-time low was October, and we finished the big high low. Now we go to big A. So, because also here, did we finish the pullback? I really tried to make it today absolutely clear. So we got a pretty good run. Yeah. We broke over T, this level here, at $1.05, which killed all our bearish alternatives. Perfect. I said back then, it would be fucking bullish if we break 160. We didn't do that. I also said, if we just bouncing here at 111, we could still do something stupid. We also didn't do that. Yeah? Why? Just because if we would just crash through here, this couldn't be A anymore, because A can't be over M. A has to be under M. So with this pullback, this is small a, yeah, or middle A. Doesn't matter how you call it. then we did the perfect breakout retest. Yeah, I'm talking about the only trend line we have from the higher low with 2 touch points here. Yeah? But still, it is a perfect breakout retest. And not only that, it's also a 0.5. I mean, okay, we didn't touch it by 1 cent. Yeah, we bounced at 95 cents, and the 0.5 would be at 49 cents. 1 cent difference. So in the fucking worst case, if this is not enough, we still have to come down to this level. I wouldn't see that. Yeah, but okay. Yeah. I mean, if we do that in that case, I would say we are not touching the 0.5. We're doing the normal A pullback, which brings us to the 618. Yeah. Which would be 84 cents if we do that. Yeah. I would say no, but maybe. Yeah. If we pull back. Otherwise, this was an after hours, just a pullback and bounce. Yeah. And not only that, I think we already did our tiny A, because you have here, maybe I can show that. Yeah. You broke down. Here's your V. You did a tiny higher low, and this would be already your A with a perfect 618 pullback. So if I'm right, and if we're really, really bullish, I think from here is upside. Yeah. What's next? Yeah. So this is middle A. We still need to do middle B, and then we go to our middle C, which is big A, $15 or higher. I said if we break 160, we can do something stupid. We could do that still. Yeah. So if we break 160, we could still just jump. It's just more unlikely, because if you're doing an A and pullback, most of the time you're also doing a B and pullback. Yeah, that's the reason why it would have been nice if we didn't do the A. If we just broke over this, that the possibility that we instantly doing something stupid would have been higher. So, but if you look, B has to be over the M line. But the range for B is over M, under the big T. And this here is our big T. Yeah. So somewhere in here is B. Now we have now we have our main trend line from our L with the touch point of higher low. This is exactly this. So if we're really doing B, I could think, I would imagine we are rejecting our main trend line. That would be $5.41-ish. Then we're doing a 0.5 from where the 0.5 for B is always from the low of A. So from 96 up to whatever peak we're doing, 0.5. In that case, it would be back down to $2.24. And then the next thing is already C. Yeah? And C or A, it's the same thing. If you're playing with the rules, it has to be over 15, but under 43, because A isn't allowed to go over M. Or, same like down here, if we're not doing the A pullback, we're just breaking through this. And then everything stupid is possible again. Yeah? Because of time, because this looks so big. Yeah, but first of all, don't look at the timeline down here. If you just look how much time we needed from our V to the A and the pullback. This here took you only 14 days. A and pullback. So if we're just saying for now till the B and the pullback, 14 days, That's May, first week of May. And then we are already here. So let's say we are adding another 14 days to go to C. That means we have 14 days here, so 28 days. No, sorry, 28 days from here. Just for an example. That's mid-end May. Yeah, I mean my level is still July and August, but this C, because this could be just a bigger pullback. Yeah, so something like this. Yeah, for the bigger pullback, because the main landmarks MTL always had larger pullbacks. So this main A here could be just a larger pullback, but this in between here should be quick. Yeah, so maybe this is already the pullback July and August. Yeah, but if you're just saying in 28 days, this could be mid-May. Yeah, this isn't much. Yeah, and so many tickers and stocks have their projected breakout target already top mid-end May. It looks interesting. Yeah? So I hope that is clear. I don't think I missed something. Yeah, let's see. Let's see what the rest of the week is bringing. Okay, next one is FFAI. So big update again in the video linked. We just look, watch, show, whatever, what we have done in the last days. So let's look. So for FFAI, I have to say my old tracking was wrong. Yeah, because my main tracking here was that this here was higher low. Yeah, in that case, you still would have come down here to 24 cents till Friday. That was my projection. And then we could have starting upside, which was clearly wrong. And there is no if and that, it was just wrong. I made a mistake. And I always said, if I do something like that, I showed it. So, what are the alternatives? Well, first of all, I already posted it, the alternatives on the homepage and the post, because in the moment we broke this line here, 43 cents, I knew that the version, the bullish version, wasn't working anymore. So if you look here, this is a perfect 618. What is doing a 618 pullback? An A. So what the hell? Yeah, I only have two versions for this. I mean, okay, the third version is we're breaking downside from here. FFAI is saying fuck you, and we're breaking 20 cents, and the stock is dead. Yeah, that will always be the bearish version. Yeah, because if you break 20 cents again, this stock is over. Yeah. But for the bullish version, this is A. So if you're taking from the A pullback to this peak, this is a perfect 0.5. So this here could be just little b. And already said in the post, if you break 61, then you really can get fucking bullish, because after that, we can just go up, stupid numbers, ole. But for this version, you have to bounce here. Really just saying, I mean, maybe you can still do a little more low, but you have to bounce in this region and just go. That would be the bullish version. The other, or the ultra bullish version. The only other bullish version I have is, here's our T. We didn't break through it, like BYND. Means that this here could be already our top of our macro higher low. And this candle here could already be our lower high. Yeah. In that case, you have to come lower. And you have to come down in the near to the 786. In that case, we would already, in my opinion, have the V and the A, because this is still staying A. That means you have to come to 27. and then go. Yeah. For this version, I just have to say, if this is A, I don't know where to put B because this is just one candle. So B has to be somewhere in here. Yeah. I mean, you could say that this here would be B shortly before the peak. Could be. Yeah. But in this case, you're just doing macro high low. Macro high low. Yeah. You started here with a micro high low, so there is a high low. So you have these two versions to be bullish. Breaking from here and go. If you're breaking down, you still come down to 27. To what I'm leaning to? Okay, let's say this. No financial advice, of course. I still have my January contracts. With this run here, they were up 217%. I closed 50% of them because I hate this stock and to just make the other ones free. But I'm still holding the rest because this move, maybe. Okay. As long as you're not touching and breaking 20 cents. Okay. I mean, FFAI, if it moves, has fucking great squeezes. Yeah. I mean, this was a 10,000% move. Even this was a 300% move. And if we are finished and if we're going up, I mean, we are talking that this 5-year fractal is finished. Yeah. Even I can say, okay, if this fractal is finished, then this move here in May 2024 was a small squeeze. Maybe. Yeah. It's not completely gone, the hope, but yeah, be careful. Okay, now to the two very interesting lead stocks. So we start with SNDL. And the thing with this is, first of all, for the tracking, it's finished. Second, I tracked this months ago. Yeah. And it was a wish from you guys, but it wasn't ready back then. And I put it on my blue list. And to make it absolutely clear, this here is my main tracking list. All things I really want to see every single change in the tracking. This here is my secondary list. All the stocks are tracked. All these are tracked. Some of them have alerts, but all of them, the tracking showed they weren't ready yet. Yeah? And sometimes I just forget them. So today, a colleague of me said, hey, I watched your video a few months ago, and you said if we are here, that looks fucking bullish. So, okay, I looked and what the hell? Yes. And the thing is, so nobody can say, yeah, blah, blah, blah. Yeah, it's the tracking months ago. Survives. Yeah. I mean, two versions. Yeah. I'm not showing now the whole video because why? But we are now finished with this shit. Yeah. What does it mean? So just to go through everything, SNDL opened in its IPO at its C, little lower high, massive midpoint, massive T, and back then there was still the alternative that this here was T. But right now, in that case, you would have gone down here. With the thing that we broke over tiny T, in my opinion, it's pretty certain that this is our T. This here in July was our all-time low. We finished our macro higher low. We already broke over T. That means we don't doing a micro higher low means the next move for SNDL is at least is around 380, 384 or around 280. Okay, 1 second. Because okay, it's at 170. That's not a move. There are two things. First of all, this is just a breakout retest. The next move is B. And B has to be over M. That means 48. That's the first thing. Second, I mean, SNDL, sometimes here it's just jumping A. There is a possibility that we're not doing this pullback and just go to B. Yeah. But the main point I want to make is maybe it's not so interesting to play this. Yeah. I mean, with shares, who cares? Yeah. But with options, maybe it's not so interesting to play this. But, and this is no financial advice now. Yeah. I'm just showing what I play. Yeah. To make that absolutely clear. Yeah. No financial advisor. The interesting thing on this version is that I still believe that this B, yeah, could easily be still this year. So if we look at SNDL, my main position for SNDL is January 2027 and $5.5 strikes. Because first of all, it's the max strike you can get. Second, they are far in the money if you're doing B. And third, they are right now between 5 and 15 cents. That's nothing for a move to 48. The thing why I bought them today. Why? Because with this move, these contracts aren't that cheap anymore. I can tell you that. Yeah. That is my biggest position. The smaller one, the smaller position, of course, the more risky position is June, because I think this A is easily done in June, and the max strike in June is $3. We have our target at least $3. In the best case, $3.80. These contracts right now are between 3 and 5 cents. And if we're doing that, they are easily at 98 cents. That's why, in my opinion, no financial advice. The perfect entry was already on beginning of April. But right now, in my opinion, is also perfect. That would be SNDL. The even better play is CGC, Canopy. Yeah. And also, this stock was someone of you and asked if it looks bullish or bearish. And also back then I said, no, we are not finished yet. Put it on the blue list and forgot about it. And because I looked on SNDL today, I just said, okay, wait, I was tracking something else with wheat too, and ta-da! And this thing looks even better. Yeah. For Canopy, we go just through the whole tracking. Yeah. For Canopy, I think we will most likely really do A pullback, B pullback. Why? Just because we see that at LPO. Yeah. You had the pullback, so you will do pullbacks, in my opinion. The chance that we just doing something stupid is so tiny here, but doesn't really matter. We have our all-time high, our lower high, midpoint T, down to our V. The same like SNDL, you did a perfect high or low, and also here you broke out. You went over tiny T, so there won't be, in my opinion, a macro high low. So next target is A. And A has to be over $20. Because we are not doing most likely something stupid, your maximum range for A is under the M line. That means maximum 46. So our target, 20 to 46. Then 0.5, 0.618 pullback, breakout retest, up to our B. For our B, it has to be over M. That means 45, but near L. So 45 to 500. Yeah. But just one thing, we already had a reverse split here. So most of the time I will say for stocks with reverse splits, you can still go up to these numbers, but most likely not without a forward split. Yeah. It's possible that we come into these ranges, but careful. But first of all, we tracking A. And here also, no financial advice, just presenting my position. For this, I even see the possibility that this could be easily end of May, maybe even earlier. Yeah, I mean, I think they will move together. So if SNDL is doing that, Canopy maybe also too, could be. I didn't really look if they are synchronized. Let's see. But for this, I would say easily end of May, maybe June, for reaching their A. Yeah, and for my position, I only have one position. Yeah, the biggest one. Yeah, and that's also January 27 max strike, because max strike is $10, and this is easily in the money. Yeah, and till January this is easily, even if it's not doing May or June, this target is easily reachable till January. And the stupid part is that the strikes for $10 are right now between 4 and 7 cents. That's nothing. And if we're reaching at least 20, they are double in the money. That's crazy. If you want to see something more risky, you could, no financial advice, look at July's. The max strike is $6. But they are costing between 3 and 5 cents. And here comes the thing. Why buying something shorter if you only have to pay 2 cents more for 6 months more? Yeah, it makes no sense, in my opinion. You could have been a different opinion. But let's see. Yeah. I mean, of course, everyone is looking at AMC and GME and beyond. Maybe that's a good thing. So nobody is talking about Canopy and SNDL. I mean, there's also a crowd, a retail crowd around these ones, but and one last thing, yeah, because if someone, yeah, is now starting with, yeah, this is only because Trump said today wheat, blah blah blah. Yeah, this year was Trump, yeah, but the move already started here in March, yeah. And this was already 45%. This little shit here was Trump. Yeah, to say that. Yeah. So don't come with me. This was the news. Yeah. Again, it's starting to run up. The stock market has to write news for that shit, because otherwise people are thinking, why? Yeah. Okay. I think I didn't forget anything. As always, explanation video, yeah. Playlist, yeah. Big video with all updates on all stocks back there. If you liked it, you can leave a like. If you want to see more, you can leave an abo. Let's see what will happen Thursday, Friday. See ya.